What's happening, dudes? This is the VanPowers Grand Teton Pro, and today we're gonna review. A couple of the things that stand out to me is the TFT display. It does have name brand Tektro hydraulic brakes with pretty big rotors. It's got a 400-pound weight capacity and it is a hardtail with 120 millimeters of travel on front. We do have a torque sensor and it does have the VanLife app. Also, we get 9 speeds on this bike. That's like 2 more than average. MSRP is $1,899, but it is on sale in the link below this video in the description box. But don't buy this electric bike just yet. We got to crack it open, take a closer look at it, then take it out for a full review, see how it performs, see what kind of range we get, and let's just check out the Grand Teton Pro. So these are the taller 26x4 inch fat tires. The brand of these are CST, and the brake rotors are a little bit bigger than average. Dang, that was actually really big. Go ahead, run off. Go, get out of here. So the rotors themselves are Tektro and 203 millimeter thick. The larger the diameter of the rotor, the more mechanical leverage you get for that braking force. Typically we see 180, so that's bigger. Also, we can see that we will have a through axle. This is the way to do it, dude. Let's pop that bike out of there. And here's what it looks like when you get out of the box. We can see it's got the same exact 203 millimeter rotor in the rear. And check out these lights on the rear. So it's like a light built into the actual frame back here, and they are on both sides. Brake calipers are name brand Tektro, and the frame of this bike is a little bit different than typical. Check it out. So it's got like all this support going on here. No suspension back here though, so it is a hardtail. And a hardtail does keep the weight and complexity of the bike down. Here is the battery right in there. This is where you charge the bike. VanPowers GrandTeton. And check it out, up here we got something going on. Yep. Get it in a minute. We don't see this on an e-bike normally. And it also comes with a sticker on the frame down here that has like all the specs and everything for the bike. Let's try and open this thing up with Shimano with the scissors here a little bit. Oh my goodness. Is that thing supposed to open even? I better not break it. And as mentioned, there is an app called the VanLife App. They actually have a little QR code for it on the back of this. So let's drop this battery on out of here. Make this build a little bit easier. So here's all the words and everything that's listed on the battery. It is rated for 692 watt hours of energy. It's a 48 volt system with a capacity of 14.7 amp hours. This will help keep the weight of the bike down, while also giving us pretty big range. This one weighs in specifically at 9.4 pounds. And here's the charger they give us. It is a 3 amp charger, 15 amp hour battery. 15 divided by 3 would be 5 hours to charge from empty to full. And they also give us this box, which has a user manual, quick start guide, and our through axle, and pedals, which are plastic. They'll be a little bit easier on the shin than some metal cleats. Don't hit your shin though. And this is the display we gotta put on ourselves. And it comes with fingernail polish for your wife. Just kidding. This is touch-up paint. Not just any touch-up paint though. We have lava red and Coke black. I'm not making this stuff up. It says right there, Coke black, lava red. And it's got a second key, bell, a few other accessories. So here's a look at the front fork and suspension. We've got 120 millimeters of travel. This is about the most travel you get on any of these kind of fat tire e-bikes. There's an adjustment for the preload on the left stanchion. Popping on over to the other side, we get a lockout with clicks in between to adjust the suspension. Name brand Tektro caliper up front. Oh, look at the attention to detail here. I'm about to throw those handlebars on, and look at these connectors down here. So this should help keep the wires really well hidden, I'm guessing. And dude, I gotta say, 5 stars on the cable management. That is satisfying. So handlebars are mostly flat, a little bit of rise, with of course the Tektro hydraulic levers. We have round rubber grips. And check it out, over on the right side, we have a Shimano Cues shifter system. So we actually get 9 gears on this shifting system, and the changes feel quite a bit better compared to a lot of the shifters that I see. I can tell already these feel snappy. The throttle will be on the left side with a thumb throttle. It's got the through axle system, which is actually reverse threaded. So this actually comes in from the opposite way, and this guy goes on over here, and you actually turn this counterclockwise on the other side. You can see I'm rotating counterclockwise, and it just kind of screws right in there. This is the most secure system. Unusual to see it turn counterclockwise though to tighten. Regardless, minor detail, this is a very secure way to keep your front wheel attached to your bike. I guess that reverse system would technically be kind of self-tightening, maybe to help prevent the wheel from coming loose. The tire turns this way, and this rotates that way to get tighter. It's got a headlight up front and metal fenders. And before I forget, the front rack will mount on the side there. And the cables are hidden elegantly in the frame. We've got 3 more mounting points down here. And it comes with the rear rack, which looks like this. Got a light on the rear. Oh, that's not a light. This is just a reflector. The actual lights will be down there. And I wonder, what kind of seat are we rolling on? Definitely looking more mountain bikey compared to some of the other fat tire e-bikes we see. What I mean by that is it's not quite as wide. Not quite as wide as some of the other fat tire e-bikes. There is a little bit of shape there, a little cutout down the middle. It is the Explora seat. Of course, it has a typical quick release. And if you want to go the route of suspension seat post, it is a 30.9 millimeter. I don't know if that would be the right kind of deal on this kind of bike though, because a suspension seat post will introduce bob as you ride. And circling back to the charger, this is the charge port and this is the actual charger. I don't think I've actually seen one like this before. So you just plug that in there to charge the bike when the battery's on there. And if you want to charge it when it's not on the bike, same deal. You just plug it directly into the battery like that. I haven't seen one that has that connection. Kind of unique. And let's take a quick peek at that motor. It is a MXUS brand and there is all the numbers on it. It is a 750 watt nominal hub motor. Taking a peek at the other side, we do get a relatively smaller chainring up front. Good for climbing hills, not probably top speed, but that depends on what we have on the back for gears, which we do have 9 gears. They appear to be a little bit higher quality than the typical cassette we see. It is a Shimano cassette. It says Link Glide right there on the big granny gear, and a Shimano Cues derailleur, and it's got some rubber bits here for chain slap. I'm also noticing there is something down here, not sure what that is. So let's go ahead and get that battery on there, and let me show you the size of this bike. So I have the seat on maximum height. I am 6'5", inseam 34. Throw a leg over this. Here's how I'm looking like aboard the seat, and here's my pedal stroke on this bike. You have adjustments on the front suspension, approximate riding position, and I'll just drop that seat on down to minimum. Goes down to about here on me. Swinging the leg on over. Don't kick that rack. It hurts, believe me, I've done it. And here's what I'm looking like on the Grand Teton Pro. So let's go ahead and peel this display cover off and fire this e-bike up, holding the power button. VanPowers. So it is a very small and minimalist display, keeping it lightweight. It is listed as a TFT display, shows us our battery readout in terms of a percentage and a little bar right there. What else we got on here? So there is the VanPowers app. We can put it on Eco Sport, Boost, or completely off. It looks like we're gonna have like a little power meter there. Looks like there is something up here to show connections as well as the time. So let's tap the I button here. Oh, so we get trip, odometer, range, 25 miles right now it says, with 42% on the battery. Also gives you calorie estimate, average power, so this thing must give us power. Tells you your average power in watts. That's kind of cool. Pretty clean looking little display here. I like it. And then we do have the advanced settings. You just hold down the I button for a second here and you can do clear trip, change your units, backlight brightness, auto power off, auto headlight, language, and you can change your class. It's on class 1, class 2. I don't know if you can actually change that though. Set time, passwords, and of course there is the app. Also kind of interesting how they have it mounted on the bottom side of the handlebars. I'm gonna press the headlight switch and hold it so that turns on the lights. Let's check them out. So check it out, here's the lights. If I hold the light button, it'll turn them off and turn them back on. And grabbing a brake lever, it will cause them to flash. And if I turn them off and then grab the brake lever, it makes them flash just like that. So definitely a pretty cool light situation on the rear. Should help keep you visible at night. And then that one on top there is just a reflector. And then up front, you get your headlight as well. And just to give you a little closer look at these lights on the rear, they actually look pretty good. So let's go ahead and throw it on pedal assist 5. Let's just see what happens here. Ready, go. So it takes us up to a gentle 20 mphs. Doggy says, let's go play. Oh shoot, I didn't realize this is the derailleur guard right here. They got a fancy one. I saw it, I didn't even recognize what this thing was. All right, dudes, let's check out the VanPowers Grand Teton Pro. Of course, we're gonna check our official range on the Strava app. And speaking of app, let's fire this bike up and also the VanLife Ebike app. Let's click on the register Ebike thing there. Please scan the QR code. Invalid. Maybe it's on the bike somewhere. Yeah, there it is. So they give you a little QR code, activate your bike right on up. Bluetooth is connecting. Nice. Pretty seamless. So check it out. Shows the actual bike there, the color of it. 100% battery settings, so you can switch your units, your class. Oh, so you can put this thing over to class 3. Looks like we'll have to go do some disclaimers. We'll try that in a few. There's a ghost on the bike. So we'll check this out on the ride. Looks like there are, let's see this, power assistance level off, eco. Oh, you can change your modes. Cool. So let's go ahead and give it a rip up the 20% grade. We'll see how it does. I weigh 200 pounds. I'm not going to pedal it at all, and we have it on boost mode. We'll do throttle only. Ready, go. Oh, feels pretty peppy. And pulling us right on up, doing about 7-8 miles an hour. Absolutely no pedaling from me. So feels like a pretty torquey bike. And we still have it on the class 1/class 2 mode. So I don't know, we might get even a little more power once we put it on class 3. So let's get out here, feel this bike out a little bit here today. Suspension's feeling pretty soft on the front. There are adjustments on that. We'll try them out on this little dirt trail. We're going to take it on here in a few. I have it on boost mode right now, but we're going to dial it on down to 0, then try the 3 other settings here in a moment. Brakes are feeling fantastic out the gate. And we do have the Shimano Cues shifting system, which I've never tried this before. It's a little bit more premium than the typical stuff we see on this channel. So I have it on no pedal assist at all. We can get this bike rolling about 6 miles an hour on gear 1, no problem. If your battery, oh yeah, that shifter's feeling way more nicer than the typical shifters I'm used to experiencing on this channel. But we'll throw this on eco now, and let's just feel out the torque sensor on this. So, oh yeah, so eco mode is definitely just sipping on that lithium ion just a little bit, and the torque sensor will give you power in proportion to how hard you press it. That's how torque sensors work, as opposed to cadence sensors, which do not sense how hard you press on the pedals. The cadence sensors are kind of dumb ones. Torque sensors are better. I mean, if you're trying to get exercise, that is. Pros and cons to everything. So eco mode, let's just try throttling off the line here. Ready, go. So pulls us on up to speed pretty gently here, and throttle will take us up to not pedaling this bike at all. Let's see where it'll go to. So it's pretty gentle on the power here on eco mode. I think it'll probably be reduced power on the throttle compared to the other 2 settings, but we'll check it out. So we are in the class 1/class 2 mode. Throttle will cut us off at 20, or it should cut us off at 20. I think it is. Let's try these brakes out. Yeah, they're not even bedded in yet, but they just have a good feel to them. Name brand Tektro hydraulics. And at the stop sign here, let's go ahead and throw it on sport mode now and see if that feels, oh yeah, I can tell. So the throttle gives you a little bit more throttle response. So that's kind of cool. A lot of times the actual power delivery on the throttle is not different depending on mode, but yeah, it just gives you more acceleration, I could tell. But then also, let's downshift a few gears here on the Shimano Cues. And so we do have 9 speeds on the Shimano Cues. Let's just see how the power delivery is on this. Okay, so it just gives you access to that power a little bit more easier when you have it on sport mode with the torque sensor. You just don't have to push on the pedals quite as hard to get your power. And gear number 7. I'm noticing the Shimano Cues, as I was reading up on it a little bit, that it supposedly shifts pretty well under load. So when you're actually pedaling the bike and then shift, yeah. So this is one of those things that's a little bit hard to put into words. It's kind of more of a feel thing, but I can tell you the Shimano Cues shifting system here feels a lot nicer. The drivetrain feels a lot nicer to pedal compared to some of the other really bargain budget friendly stuff we see, you know, with like 7 speeds, the typical one we see. So we are on gear number 9 now, just kind of cruising along here on sport mode. Feels like 15, 16 is a pretty natural pace here. And let's cut all the power down and throw this thing on boost mode. So let's give it a little 0 to 20 rip here on the VanPowers GrandTeton. I weigh 200 pounds, boost mode, ready, go. So yeah, I can tell you get a little power meter there, it looks like. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So pretty much exactly what I would expect from a 750 watt nominal power e-bike. We might have to get into that app though and unlock this thing to class 3 mode. Let's try pedaling this thing out now. So we're on gear number 9 and boost mode. It will cut us off at 20 miles an hour whether we're pedaling or just throttling. So let's just unlock it with the app right now. The VanLife e-bike app. Let's give it a try. Is it still connected up? So it says we have an estimated range of 37 miles. I bet if we bump it down to sport mode, oh yeah, just put it to eco mode, it says 58, and you put it on sport mode, then 49, and accordingly 37 for boost. So I just want to get down here and go to the settings and try class 3. So it looks like there's a little disclaimer. We'll just say we agree. I don't know what I just agreed to, but oh, you got to check the options. Yes. I have reached the age of 16. Yes, I sure did reach that age. All right, so we are on class 3 mode now, and boost mode, let's just see what it'll do now. I'm curious if the throttle is going to work beyond 20 miles an hour already. Go. So it feels about the same power. Definitely probably all the power you really need to accelerate. 20. And throttle will still cut you off at 20. So now when we start pedaling, it should give us power beyond 20, and it does. I can feel it's giving me power in proportion to how hard I'm pedaling with the torque sensor. I'm gonna actually have to work for it a little bit here to, oh man, they make you work for it too. I mean, I'm pressing decently hard on the pedals and we're going 25. They're gonna make you really lay into it and work for it to get that 28 miles an hour. So this is a mountain bike style e-bike. We're gonna take it out in the hills there and try some of those trails. Let's see if we can get a max speed on this thing. Man, once you get to 26 though, they're gonna make you build them quads, man, build them hammies, get a little bit of exercise in on your ride if you really wanna hit that 28. I've hit 27. I honestly don't want to like wear myself out. I need to go out and do some filming and trail riding here. So I'd imagine if you bump that down to eco, it's going to be very difficult to get that going. Yeah. So this thing definitely rides more like an e-bike than an electric motorcycle. You know, it really just kind of depends. Some of these e-bikes, this one feels pretty nimble-ish. So the battery on it isn't like, you know, the biggest of the big that come on these 26 by 4 inch fat tire e-bikes, which, you know, you might not get quite as much range out of it ultimately, but it's gonna feel more nimble by having that smaller battery. I mean, ultimately you only want as big of a battery as you need to complete the ride that you're doing. You really don't want to carry around all the extra weight. You don't plan on going far, right? So let's play with the suspension here just a bit. Woo! It makes you work for it, dude. All right, so I'm gonna throw this thing on boost mode because it's the most fun. Yeah.
I have one. It's the down tube one. I'm not riding it.
Oh, you have?
But I have the urban bike.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It's the down tube one. The battery's in the down tube.
That's cool.
Oh, you're
Juice Joyrides, yeah. Also, Telepy TV.
Ooh, that's a new
It's
one.
Brand new, yeah. It's pretty good, man. It's really good.
That looks expensive though.
It's actually pretty affordable, I feel, for the price. I think it's on sale for like 17 or so. Yeah.
Okay, I'll probably see you around because I'm trying to do more riding.
Cool, man. Dude, this has got to be a simulation we're living in. What are the chances I'm just riding and a guy passes me and says, oh, I have VanPowers too. All right, so we're gonna take this thing for a little bit of off-road trail riding here. I'm gonna go ahead and bump it down to gear 3. Front suspension feels nice. There is no rear suspension on this bike. So, I mean, you could always throw a suspension seat post on it, but honestly, this one's probably just best left as a hardtail. It makes it easier to put power down to the pedals. You don't get that bob in your seat. It's just more efficient. So cruising along here, I am noticing this bike does put you up on the handlebars a little bit, you know, like a mountain bike style. It doesn't have like the laid back cruiser style handlebars that have you completely upright. So this way you'll be able to get a little bit more power down to the pedals and gives you a little bit more control over the handlebars. Also, since you have weight up on your arms, it'll help utilize that front suspension a little bit more since you have less weight sitting on your butt. So that's a good thing for a hardtail e-bike. Eco mode is really just fine if you want to get a workout, but you know, once you feel that boost mode, how can you resist, man? This motor feels pretty powerful. I mean, it is 750 watt nominal. I guarantee you this is peaking out over 750 watts though. And the seat on this bike is kind of hard and narrow. So, you know, it's kind of more like mountain bike style. It doesn't have that big plush wide seat, but the good part about that is it's not really gonna like inhibit your, like hit your thighs and stuff. So we're gonna do throttle only. Oh, I had hit the brake there going around that corner. It does have brake cutoff sensors, but we're going up this about 12% grade. This is pretty similar to the California incline. We're just gonna test the motor's performance here. It's pulling us up on its own, doing 11 miles an hour, just pretty steep grade. Notice if it's a 20% grade, a parking garage hill. Motor is relatively quiet, not making too much noise back there on the geared hub motor. And this is just pulling us right on up. It gets a little bit steeper right here at this top section actually, and still pulling along 10 miles an hour completely effortlessly. I'm not pedaling this thing at all, and I weigh 200 pounds, so definitely sufficiently strong motor on this e-bike. And we are reaching the top where I'm gonna let off the throttle here. Private property, bros. And just to give you an idea how far we climbed here, we were just down on that road down there. So I don't know, this is probably taller than the California incline, honestly. So pretty solid performance there. And on a clear smog-free day, which I don't know when that ever happens in LA, you could see the Hollywood sign out there and Beverly Hills, but we're gonna test the brakes on this downhill. We have the Tektro hydraulic brakes and 203 millimeter rotors, which right away, getting on this bike, I could feel, they just feel like nice brakes. And those large rotors, they give you like more mechanical leverage. The bigger the rotor is, stronger the brakes, as long as the pads and everything is solid. And these are feeling pretty good. I can feel that back tire starting to lock up just a little bit. So these are the kind of brakes you want to be careful not to pull them too hard. And we'll give them a pretty hard, decently hard pull right here. They're really not even, oh yeah. These brakes are about as good as you're gonna get on an e-bike that's under $2,000, which this one is. If you do wanna grab one of these, you can click that link in the description box. See the current price, should have a little discount code there for you too. So let's give them a test from about 20 to 0. And my camera's right up here somewhere. We're gonna try and stop just beyond this sewer cap. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is definitely all the braking you need, man. I mean, in my opinion, for, you know, it's like normal riding. And you have the brake lights on there, so how about that? Oh, they don't show too well in the sunlight, do they? I'm gonna try that brake test again. We have a little, oh no, the wind's blowing it. That thing, we're gonna try and see that thing and stop on a dime. Well, not a dime. Stop on a construction post. I hope the front tire doesn't slide out on me. Stopping, let's just give it a try. Oh yeah. Front tire slid there a little bit, but I mean, that's the point of these big meaty tires, man. You can hit the brakes pretty hard. You'll have decent traction. I mean, while we're out here getting crazy, might as well keep it going. Oh yeah, 20 miles an hour. I don't know why I do these things. So just getting out here, riding this thing like a normal e-bike, this actually feels really nice. I like the small minimalist display. I can see it just fine. I have my polarized shades on right now. I can see it through it, and it's all the info you need. It's color display, very, very visible. I mean, if you're looking for something that gets traction, you know, riding on trails, these 4-inch wide knobby tires is definitely a great option for that, especially the tall 26ers that's on this one, because it just rolls over stuff. It rolls smoother than shorter wheels, although you do get a little bit less of a torquey feeling on the tall wheels. These ones are kind of more smooth feeling. I always want to tackle this like giant off-road hill thing right here, but I guarantee you I would just crash and fall. Oh geez, that's pretty steep. It's cool if we get kind of sideways on this hill, I think. Yeah, we're good. Shimano Cues, definitely give it a thumbs up, man. I like that shifter, especially with the 9 gears. So, you know, when you're moving pretty quick, 20, 25 miles an hour, you're not like rotating your legs like a million miles an hour. A little bit of dirt riding here. So it says road closed ahead. We might need to turn around, which checks out. I saw a lot of people turning around, coming back the other way. Definitely bouncing around on that seat a little bit, but you know, you can always stand up on the pedals, use your legs as rear suspension. And yep, this trail is definitely gonna be closed right about here. Little brake test, get sideways. That was not as cool as I was hoping. Well, we need to get back down to that road there. I don't reckon I'm gonna be riding through this brush. So we're gonna head on back. Let's see where the final range is. I'll share my final thoughts along the way. So it looks like MSRP on this one is a little bit shaky. MSRP is $18.99, but the sale price is actually quite a bit off that in the link below. And looking at the sale price, what it's listed as right now, I don't even want to say it because they change prices all the time. I actually feel like it's a pretty decent value on this one, especially with just like all the higher end components. I mean, it's not, you know, like top tier components, but like those big Tektro hydraulic brakes and the torque sensor that feels nice, the app that comes on it, and the Shimano Cues 9-speed drivetrain. I've definitely seen a lot of e-bikes on the market offering way less than this and charging as much, if not more, than the VanPowers Grand Teton Pro. So it seems like a pretty good value. Let's head on back down to the end of this route and see where we end up on final range. So there is one final test I want to do on this bike before we wrap up the final range and all that. And no, it is not the curb hopping test, although we will do that too. Oh yeah, no problemo. It would be the sand riding test. Let's see if we can do the sand. Ride a little sand. Oh yeah. It's going right through this just fine. Nice. Granted, it's not the full loose sand out by the beach test, but I do feel that this bike is pretty powerful and probably could ride on the sand out by the beach. So click the link below the video in the description box, see what the current price is on this bike. I'll tell you the final range when we get back home in just a moment. So the official company website has the range of this e-bike listed as 65 miles. I'd say that's probably a little optimistic. You'd have to be going slow and really putting a lot of leg power in on your own. Today we are sitting at 74% remaining on the battery after about 6.5 miles of just hooning around the neighborhood at an average speed of 10.25 miles an hour for almost 40 minutes and doing burnouts and pretty much relying on throttle for the most part of that. So on these style bikes, you know, with this size battery in here, typically what I end up doing on these ones is anywhere from about 30 to 40 miles realistically, you know, heavily relying on throttle. But I mean, obviously if you put it on eco mode and, you know, you could really stretch that range out a lot more than what I typically get out of it. So VanPowers Grand Teton Pro, pretty sweet little e-bike. If you do want to grab one, use that link below the video in the description box. However, if this is not the kind of electric bike you're looking for, you might want to check this video out right here. Catch you over there.